This is Progressive Insider.
Yeah, Progressive Insider, you know they wiser. This that new media company covering everything. I'm talking that news you ain't heard of, cause you know it's getting buried. Social justice, yeah, the stuff you need to know about. Fucking politics that the corporate news won't cover. You know they don't think that you could see under, but you can now, cause the people we cover, they may not be famous, but their stories should be heard. Yeah, every voice matters, we should rise and fall together. And that's why here at Progressive Insider, we down for whatever.
It's almost spring, and according to Donald Trump, the virus will die.
Oh, well, we're taking medical advice from Donald Trump now.
The orange buffoon.
What could possibly go wrong?
No. I've got the best medical advice.
Right? The news media now isn't even really covering his press briefings. They're like, okay, he said something crazy, go. Part of it is because the advice he's giving people is literally killing them. Stop listening.
Did you see the press conference where he had the head of the allergy and infectious disease control beside him, the Dr. Fauci, I think his name is. And he goes like this, and it's like Donald Trump was so bad that he made this guy touch his face.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yeah, it's yeah. Okay, so don't take the malaria drugs. And here's the thing, people are going, well, I can get it from pet supply stuff.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Maybe you could get a haircut while you're there.
Right. So yeah, please don't take medical advice. Call your doctor.
Yes. We have a special on. We have coronavirus supplies and deworming stuff too, if you need it.
Here's a coupon, Wolf 20. So something did happen overnight, early in the wee hours of the morning.
Yes.
Yeah, Congress passed a bill. And here has been my eternal frustration with the media. They'll rush to get a headline out, but nobody ever includes the bill number. So for people who are watching, everything that Congress does, every time they sneeze, it's on congress.gov. So I looked this morning and I couldn't find anything that recently passed. All I can find are amendments to House resolution bills. So if you go out there and you look for a bill with an S for the Senate, you're not going to find it. But what I did find was the House resolution bill on the Family Relief Act. So what they're reporting is, and this is where the details are important. So why I was out at congress.gov looking for it, they said that most Americans, not everybody, but most Americans will be getting a check for $1,200 per adult. And then there's an additional payment of $600 per week. So the details are really important. Who's the most? How is it going to be distributed? So are we talking about unemployment benefits? Or are we talking about straight up cash, like Bush sent everybody $300 one time? Here you go.
Yeah. That was nice of him.
Right. So part of the negotiations were, if you make over a certain amount, I think the number they were saying was $100,000, then the money that you get may be a loan that you have to repay if you're over a certain amount. So these are the details that I was looking for, and I cannot yet find it. As soon as I find all of those details, because it's important to know, right? If you get a 12,
of course, like exactly, that's exactly what's going on. Like, I mean, we need the details because they can, have their moment in the sun. That we came to an agreement. We in a nonpartisan way, we all came together and did what was right for the people. Except we're not going to tell you what the details are, not yet. Anyway, right? Like, you don't need to know. Just trust us that we're doing the right thing for you. And from what I understand is the bill does a lot of good things, but there are some major issues in it. And what happens is the Fed can issue you money directly, the Federal Reserve, right? But you have to be a member or a customer of the Federal Reserve in order to get money directly, right? And it's only other banking systems that are customers of the national bank, right? So what they're proposing is that they're going to make everybody in America, every man, woman, and child in America, now a customer of the Federal Reserve, so that they can each get the amount of money that they've agreed on directly from the Fed, which is a good idea. The only problem is you have to have a social insurance number, right?
Right.
So if you're a resident, or I should say a citizen of the United States, you're good. But if you're an immigrant, once again, you're getting fucked by the government.
And these are the details that are important because, to your point, we have a number of people who are citizens who don't have bank accounts.
Exactly.
So how are they going to receive it? These are the people that we call the unbanked, right? And this is why Bernie Sanders had proposed having the Postal Service take over some of those banking responsibilities, because it's already a federal agency. It's already something that is in the public as it is now, every post office, and then providing basic banking services outside of a bank.
Right, exactly. And it's, once again, it's just the federal government, using this facade, right, of showing that tax-paying people are more important than non-tax-paying people, right? That if you pay your taxes into the system, we're going to help you, right? We're going to give you.
Right? We all pay a sales tax. We all have a use tax. So this whole idea of who pays taxes? Are we talking about just on income, or because everybody that is in this country, if you have a financial transaction to buy a candy bar, you just pay tax.
Wait a minute. Are you asking people to think critically about their situation?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
No, this is exactly why we're here, why we're doing what we're doing. So my first clue that there might be something a little bit sketchy in this bill, and I'm not saying that we don't need the help, we absolutely do, but when Mitch McConnell is quoted as saying, let's not let perfection be the enemy of good, I immediately, that's a red flag. And then on top of that, it harkens back to Donald Rumsfeld saying you go to war with the army you have, not the one you want. I'm like, okay, so who are we going to leave behind this time?
Right.
People need to know this, because somebody always pays that cost. If 10 of my neighbors are covered and 2 of them are not, then that always defaults to, we'll let the charities handle it. Well, we are the charities. So what you've done now is, if I'm getting $1,200 and my neighbor isn't getting something, that $1,200 that I got is now going to, a portion of it will go to my neighbor, because that's who we are, right?
Exactly. And the other thing that we have to remember about is we're still talking about a temporary UBI, right? Which, if you know the way that macroeconomics actually works, you understand why that's maybe necessary short term, but not something that can happen long term, because it doesn't actually do anything for people, right? It doesn't put any safety in place, right? Because we're talking, unless you're talking right now with a temporary UBI and then a moratorium on rental costs or mortgages or any kind of loan payment, because that money that you get will completely be eaten up by those things, and you won't be able to go out and get food, because you're just trying to stave off an eviction notice, right? Because the other thing is, if you don't do that, and one of the main fears of the UBI is that landlords will just automatically eat up that space because there's nothing telling them that they can't.
Oh, you bring up an excellent point. So let's look at the big picture, right? So the Fed has given 4 trillion to banks and Wall Street bankers, and then pledged another $1 trillion per day. So now we have this stimulus payment, this coronavirus emergency payment to the populace, not everybody, most people. And if you take that money and you pay your rent or your mortgage, that now also goes back to the mortgage writer, which is your bank, your lender. So we have now we've become a pass-through in that respect, which is why the call is going out on social media, the general public, for a renter strike on April 1st, which I know terrifies quite a number of people. But in this case, when we are at an unprecedented situation where we have a global pandemic, a plague, you have to think outside the box, because when we want a healthy populace, you have to.
Of course, but there's been so much work put into the deception of neoliberalism, right? It's taken 50 years for them to get from the time of Nixon and Reagan to where we are now, where they've convinced an entire population of people that we blame immigrants and the poor for all your problems. You don't deserve anything. You don't get anything. The market will take care of you. It's all about markets. People aren't actually people. They're just, market opportunities and blah, blah, blah. So if you're going to start giving people, and you know how I like to go on about free stuff, right? We always talk about Americans don't want free stuff. But the problem is, we've always said that it's socialism for the wealthy and corporations and rugged individualism for the people, right? And that's the problem. Now, if we decide that we can all of a sudden just pay for it outright, right? That what MMT people or any of the post-Keynesian people have been saying, that the spending of money is no object, then and you do that to help people out without any strings attached, free stuff, that goes against the narrative of the last 50 years of neoliberalism, right? And they're still trying to protect that, right? It's why they're rigging the DNC election against Bernie, is because if Bernie gets in, that will throw all of the last 50 years out the window, right? It's taken them a long time to get America to where it is now. They don't want to just throw it out because of one little virus floating around.
Right. And I think the overarching point here is we're not talking about capitalism in its truest form. What you have pointed out is the push to unregulated capitalism and the effects that we hear. So to the point that it's all free stuff, it's not. The entire value of a currency and a nation is the work that is produced by its people. This is the research, the education, the daily labor, you taking care of your grandkids so that your children can go to work. All of those things contribute to the overall value of your currency and your nation. So we're talking about GDP. So none of this is ever free, right? If we don't work, we don't produce, we don't move forward, then the currency itself has zero value. So this is the point where we are taking that entire narrative over the last 40, 50 years, flipping it around and putting it in its right priority and its right order.
Of course. We're seeing that when Andrew Yang dropped out of the race, who was the main proponent for the UBI, right, that it kind of took a little bit of a backseat once they, decided to try to carry Joe Biden to the finish line. But now that this crisis has hit, it's come back into the fold, and people are all, we need it, we got to do it. Our biggest fear is if it's implemented by the government that we're just going to give people a basic income temporarily, is that now going to start to be permanent afterwards, right? And we've already seen that a UBI in society doesn't work, that any place that they've tried to implement it, they've gotten out of it because they know it's not working. And this show is too short to explain why that is, but we just know that it's the main problem of it. So our pushback has to be now, okay, this is temporary only. This is just because people don't have an income, right? The whole idea of the UBI is a libertarian dream, right? To drop the social safety nets, to just throw cash at a problem. And then you can drop all the rest of that stuff. And it's back to rugged individualism for everybody and no safety net.
Right. And this idea has been around since the time of Thomas Paine, who first wrote about it and had it published. But all right, it's 20 minutes after the hour, a little bit after the hour. So I'm going to switch gears a little bit. And we promised everybody that we would be a little more lighthearted because I know I am personally on day 12 of personal confinement. And this is day 10 of being confined with my spouse. So I'm already...
Which the way you just said that made that part sound worse.
Right? I'm like, oh my God. So we were going to switch gears a little bit and talk about silver linings and all of this. And there is no better person to help with this than the lovely and talented and snarky Zsazsa Kilmor. So just for everyone's information, Zsazsa is a Twitch streamer. She plays video games for a living, which how cool is that? And then not only does she do that, but I'm fairly certain she broke a record here. She went from 0 to 100 and made Twitch affiliate level within 2 weeks. That's unheard of. So
I have no idea what that means, but it sounds great.
Well, let's bring her on to explain all of this and to introduce everybody. So, Ms. Zsazsa, good morning.
Oh, good morning. Hello, I'm Zsazsa Kilmor. What's up, bitches? Cheers. I have my dissent mug for you all. Look.
Yes.
Yep. Ruth Bader Ginsburg with the middle finger. Dissent. Bitches, rise up. Yeah. Anyway, so what a Twitch streamer is, Twitch is a gaming platform that allows you to play video games or do design work or artwork or chat there's just so many different categories, and people can log in from their homes through the website, and there's a chat and they can interact with you while you play and do really stupid stuff, which is usually what I do. The dumber I am, the funnier it is, and the more people like it. And you can see my dog's butt right there. Sorry. So,
which is always a bonus.
Right. You get dog tail, dog ass in my picture.
That's just for the Patreon.
Right. That's my fans only. It's just my dog's ass. You want to see some ass photos? Here's my cat's ass, my dog's ass. Ooh, you can do guinea pig ass. I could just do it fans only, and they'll think they'll be seeing my ass, and it'll just be my chickens or my dog or whatever. So basically what a Twitch affiliate is, it allows me to accept subs and bits, and people can monetarily support my streams. So that's how I make money is, Twitch is owned by Amazon. So anybody with an Amazon Prime can actually get one free subscription to a channel every month. So I get those, and people actually pay me to watch me play video games. So it's kind of a dream. I started it just about a year ago, and I got really stoned one day and said, why the fuck not? And
which is how all the best decisions are made, truly.
Yes, especially in the gaming community.
Right. I just got really stoned and decided I wanted to do this. So, so now I stream video games, and I still do graphic design on the side. And that was like what I've always done. And, but I've played video games since I was a child, like from the Atari 2600 all the way up. And now I just do gaming on the PC. I don't have a console anymore. So I switched over to the dark side to PC gaming. So yeah, we play Overwatch, Apex, Call of Duty. Saturday nights at 6 p.m. we do horror games. which is just me like, yeah, oh, it gives me the fucking willies. But oh, people just love to watch me because they really love Spooky Saturdays because I can watch horror movies till the cows come home and I'm fine, but horror games, because I get so into them, it's me jumping out of my skin and swearing and, you know, oh, fuck my life, and just screaming, you know, and my husband like comes into my office, he's like, are you okay? He's got like check in on me, and they think it's really funny. So I just do stupid stuff on the internet with video games and make money doing it. So that's what I do.
So your husband is your straight man, basically.
Oh, more in more ways than one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
He's the I'm the crazy, you know, way out there. Let's go do something weird. And my husband's like, are you sure you want to do that? I'm like, don't pee in my Cheerios. Back the fuck up. I'm gonna do my thing. And he's like, all right.
So, all right, the obvious question, because
Yes.
we are all of the age where there are no girls gamers. Girls can't play games. How did you get where you are, and are you like an anomaly in all of this?
I'm there. Yes and no. There are quite a few girl gamers, but the percentage of girl gamers compared to guy gamers is very small, but it's growing. More and more women are like, they play video games, but then they're not vocal about it. Because I mean, like, look, I'm turning 46 on Sunday. Yes, Sunday. 46. Is that what my birthday is?
I think your birthday is Saturday, but okay.
Oh, wait, when's the 29th? Let's solve this real quick. Today's the 25th. So, no, my birthday is Sunday. You are so wrong, Kerri. So wrong. Fuck you. I know. You're making me get. I'm like, wait.
It's not her birthday. How would she know?
No, but she's my fucking best friend. She knows when my birthday is. God damn it. Or at least I thought she did. At least I thought she did.
You're gonna have to reevaluate her position in your friendship.
Right. At least I thought she did. Anyway, so being like 46 and playing video games, a lot of people are judgmental, going, hey, shouldn't you be doing something better with your time? Like, wow, you still play video games? When are you going to grow up? And my response to that is never. I don't look my age. I don't act my age. And I honestly don't want to. I think that like some of my best friends that are online, my gaming friends, like one of my moderators who's part of it means he has a position in my stream where he can moderate my chat if I'm busy and ban people or whatever and support me. He's 17. I'm like, and we game all the time. So like, yeah, so it is kind of an anomaly, but I'm finding more and more women actually are being more open about playing video games. We still have to deal with a lot of discrimination. Most of the time when I say hello in a chat, if I'm with like random people, they're like, oh my God, it's that girl. And I'm like, wait, I'm a mom and I could be a grandma soon. So there you go. That's going to blow your goddamn mind. You think I'm a girl and you think that's bad? I'm almost 50. That's even worse. And they're like, what?
Wow.
Well, I think part of this is our career choices, because you this is what you do as a job, right? So our career choices can evolve, and the way that we look at the world around us, like this particular program that we're doing, we have seen CNN commentators and even our local news people now broadcasting from home doing the exact same thing that Andy and I are sitting here doing. So the technology, the environment, everything can pave the way for brand new types of jobs and industry, right? So you are solidly in entertainment. And then you're also doing advertising for the games that you play and things like that. So it should not be any surprise that this is now a viable option for somebody who enjoys gaming, right?
Right. And like I said, it's not just gaming. There's crafters on there. There's body paints. There's artists. There's musicians. There's ASMR. You know, there's like so many different categories of people.
ASMR.
ASMR, I don't even know what the fuck that stands for, but it's basically auditory stimulation, something. So they have microphones with little ears on it, and they make relaxing little sounds, and you're supposed to listen to it to relax and stuff. So that's ASMR. I could never do that because you can't talk through that, and I can't shut the fuck up. So that would never work. I would be the world's worst ASMR.
Audio stimulating something. That's just ass.
Yeah, it's something.
Right?
I can't remember.
Something.
Yeah, that's just ass. And that's how my stream would be.
For you.
Okay,
I've got a question for you to do with your new profession.
Yes, go for it.
Do you find that 80% of your clothing is now pajamas?
From the waist down, yes.
Okay.
Yes. From the waist down. From the waist up, I'm all, like this morning I'm still like not fucking awake yet. So I don't even have my full face on this morning. I just did little shit, so that I didn't look like death or a zombie or whatever. I didn't want to scare the viewers.
Right.
So I put just a light face on this morning. But from the waist up, yeah, I'm totally dressed. My hair is usually done, full makeup. But from the waist down, I'm in pajama pants and slippers. So, and occasionally I do stand up on stream, so they do get to see my pajamas once in a while.
How did you get the name Ray of Motherfucking Sunshine?
Oh, my nickname, Ray Motherfucking Sunshine. Okay, so Kerri lives like 5 minutes from me, and in real life we're friends. And her husband was out of town, and I was helping her out, driving her back and forth to work. So occasionally, if her husband was home, I bust in because I know the door code. I just walk in and I just go, "Hey, bitches, your Ray Motherfucking Sunshine is here," and I just announce it's just the way I announced myself walking into Kerri's kitchen.
But it's more than that. She's kind of grown into it because the conversation we were having yesterday, when we are quite literally approaching the definition of apocalypse level scenario with this pandemic and all the things that are going wrong, on top of normal family stuff with kids and work and all of it. On top of all of that, you've got this huge issue going on. And we were talking about yesterday how to stay sane and what our personal coping skills are. And then we got on the subject of finding the silver lining in all of this. And Zsazsa came up with just this entire litany to the point where I was like, she's right. I'm just negative as hell. So some of those things I was hoping that we could talk about today. So we could start with the easy, low hanging fruit, just the pictures that are coming out of Venice, right? After 2 weeks of shelter in place, just 2 weeks, we have, the whole climate catastrophe thing going on. And then here we see in Venice 2 weeks of people sheltering in place, just changing our behavior. Now the canals are clear, pods of dolphins have returned, and things are beginning to stabilize. So we were having the conversation about how long is it realistically going to take if we all change our behavior just a little bit and we all get on the same page. Can we actually make a difference with the climate thing? Because the pandemic is just the first part of what we're going to have to deal with globally. We all now have to address seriously this climate change because the pandemic is going to claim way too many lives, but it's nothing compared to what we're facing with climate change. So Zsazsa, rescue me here because I'm going negative again.
Okay, look. So, I was thinking, I'm like, okay, so I'm looking out my front window, and I live on a relatively busy street, which a lot of people take as a shortcut. So in front of my house, there's always cars, and I'm sitting there watching it. I'm like, okay, there's one, and there's one, and this is during rush hour, and I'm like waiting, and I'm like, oh, there's two more. I'm like, okay, so with everybody not driving, I'm like, wow, this really has to have an effect on our carbon footprint. Like, it's got to plummet because no one's driving. Trucks are still going around, but no one's flying either. And people don't talk about how air travel is actually a bigger carbon footprint than driving. So I'm like, wow, people aren't flying, they're not driving. This has to have some positive impacts on our overall carbon footprint. And if it lasts a month or two, that has to, it's not enough to prevent it, but it has to stall that, apocalypse. I'm like, okay, that there's a silver lining. We're actually, stalling global climate change for a little bit. Got it. There's a silver lining. So I'm like, all right, what other silver lining can I come up with? Because yesterday I had this super productive day planned, and then I read the news, and then I just smoked some weed and ate nachos. So I'm like, I got to come up with something else. I gotta come up with something else because I really cannot sit around just smoking weed and eating. Well, I could smoke weed, but I just can't eat nachos every time I feel, depressed. So I'm like, what else? What else can I come up with that would make this? And to be fair, I was stoned when I came up with all this shit. So I'm trying to remember what I said.
Well, I think part of it is like when we talk about your job, this is now a viable employment opportunity for the right personality and things like this. But then look at all the people who are now working from home and still maintaining productivity. And in many cases, we know that people who work from home are far more productive than those who go into the office, right? So all of these things now are showing us what is possible and what we can do if we will just for a moment step back and be open to that kind of change.
Oh, exactly. And may I suggest that we already have a precedent in North America for this type of thing that's happened before. If you recall, World War II happened. Not the nicest time, right? Not the feel-good party of the century, a bit of a downer, right? But it ushered in an entire era of prosperity in the United States and Canada because of the different policies the government picked up, because of needing the production capacity to get World War II up and going, right? They took all of those factories that produced cars and vehicles, they turned them into factories that produced tanks and airplanes to help the war effort. But it put everybody to work, it gave everybody an income, and it ushered in so much prosperity for 20 years, 20, 30 years before, then the neoliberals started screwing everything up. But they took the negative of World War II and turned it into something amazing for North America, right? What this pandemic is going to do is it's going to show people what is actually possible in society, the stuff that people didn't think was possible, right? Like I'll use the example of before computers and before, say, your phone provider, right? There were these giant offices of operators that had to connect calls, that had to take calls. I'd like to make a long distance call, just a moment, please. So that was an entire industry that got wiped out because of technology. Well, where did those people go? They were absorbed back into the system in more technical jobs. So technology isn't our enemy. It's actually our friend, right? And the people that push the UBI, and I'm sorry to bring that downer part of our conversation back, but
right,
the
we're
people that are
supposed
pushing,
to be keeping it light,
But this is going to end up good, so trust me on this.
Okay.
But the UBI thing that's going on, right? And they're saying that we have to be afraid of technology because it's going to take away all these people's jobs. Well, that's not true, right? What it's going to do is it's going to refocus where people are needed to work. And 80% of people in society are going to be employed in the service of other human beings. Let's let the robots take all those crappy factory jobs. Let's let them do that. And let's employ people to live stream online, right? Or do all kinds of things from their own home, or be employed to go out and talk to seniors where they live. right? And so there's all these new jobs. They just change. They don't disappear, but they're better jobs. They're jobs that are more fulfilling. They're not the lousy private sector factory, kill yourself on the line, die at age 63 jobs. They're fulfilling. They're good jobs, right? Let that happen. I think that the virus, the fact that people are having to work from home and all of these things that's happening are going to show Americans and Canadians that this is possible, that we can do it this way. And I think that's very positive.
Right. So I was having this conversation before we went live with Zsazsa. Trying to, now my husband is very analytical. He's an engineer, a scientist. And I'm constantly giving him, while he's home, the benefits of working from home. Like, you roll out of bed and then you put your slippers on, your coffee's right there, and you head downstairs to your new office. And that's where you work. And like yesterday, his lunch break, he read a novel. I'm like, you can't do that at your office. Is he starting to see it? So Zsazsa, I know that your husband, an IT guy, is now at home.
Yes, today is his first official day at home. Yesterday was a half day because he had to get everybody ready to work from home. So he had to get all the laptops ready and get everybody set up. So today is his first day at home. So my daughter and I have been, well, nothing really changed for me, except for I can't see my best friend and, go to the gym. Darn. Drat. I can't go to the gym anymore. Fuck. That's just whatever. But nothing really changed for me, but my daughter's been home and now my husband's first full day. So he's like, well, I better warm up my slippers and walk on in. So I'm like, wait a minute. And I kissed him at his office door, which is right down the hallway. And I'm like, have a great day at the office, dear. Make sure you walk safe. Don't trip on your way to your chair, we did like a whole thing. But he is like a full week to 10 days behind the insanity that my daughter and I are feeling already. So that poor bastard, he's just starting the process. But yeah, so he's down the hall, working in his office, and I have my own stream room here. So, which is good because I think if we were both stuck in the same little room, while I'm trying to stream and he's trying to work, and I think that this would not work for me. But I do like some of the other things that have come up that that I found, silver linings, if you will, is some of the content people are making online and on TikTok and Twitter and Instagram. Some of that shit is really funny. Like, people are coming up with really creative stuff. And I'm like, there's just so much stuff that's like coming out that's really just lighthearted and fun. And so beyond, people just having time to create and do more things like that, for me, it's been, I get, my daughter and I are almost done with a 2,000 piece jigsaw puzzle. Because, she's a 16-year-old teenager. Normally she'd be out and, with friends on the weekends and, going here, there, and everywhere. So we're like spending more time together. Yay. So excited, family time. It's going to be so great. So excited. Woo! Yeah. So besides more family time and, my pets are like, woo, everybody's home. Yay! Except for the cat. The cat's like, will you guys quit bothering me? I'm delirious. I have not slept 16 hours today. Get the fuck away. I'm going to go delirious from lack of sleep because you all are around all the time. And usually it's just me at home doing my thing, working from home, streaming, doing my design work, whatever.
They're cramping your style.
Oh my God. I tried to have a conversation with Kerri this morning and my husband's a peanut gallery in the background. I'm like, this is going to be my conversation. So I'm like, do you want me to put you on speaker? And he goes, nah, I don't want to hear Kerri's voice. I'm like, you're such an ass.
Okay, so the silver lining here is finding a good balance between personal space
right
and your loved ones.
Exactly. And well, my coping skills are pretty much just wake and bake every goddamn day because I learned my lesson yesterday. I'm going to smoke the weed before I read the news.
Yes.
Before I read the news.
Much scarier.
Yeah.
Right? It'll just be, it'll be like, oh, okay, I got this. It's all good. It's all good. I got this. It's fine.
Right.
So, yeah. So other silver linings that I have found is, I keep seeing posts about people like going, wow, okay, the fight for 15, these people who, serve. See, if I don't stream or if I don't do graphic design, no one's going to die. No one. I could stop this tomorrow and nothing would happen. I would hope a few people would be sad and missing me, but in reality, no one's going to die. But if everybody stops selling food, or, the janitorial staff stop sanitizing everything, or people stop working in restaurants, guess what? We all are fucking going to starve, because most of us don't know, we'd be like, we have to go forage for food. Where do tacos grow? I don't know. That would
Exactly.
be like the extent of it. So now these people who are actually the ones that are keeping us alive are the exact ones that people have been saying don't deserve $15 an hour. But they're on the front lines every day now. So it's starting to, one of the silver linings that I've been noticing is people are going, oh, maybe these people do deserve a little bit of credit and some kudos, because they're the ones that are essentially keeping us and our everything functioning. Without them, we'd all be starving and running around, trying to find out where tacos grow.
That's exactly right. One other thing that I saw in Chicago, which I thought was kind of cool, it's hokey and silly, but it really makes people happy, was there's a now designated sing-along time in Chicago, especially in apartment buildings. So somebody will lead it. They'll choose a song. Was it 2 days ago? It was Living on a Prayer, Bon Jovi. And you see all of these neighbors who don't necessarily talk to each other, spend time with each other, hanging out of their windows, doing this, 2-minute sing along, and everybody's happy and cheerful. And then they go back to their own business. So it's just this random stuff that's happening where people are learning to cope with it with a sense of humor. And then you're right, pulling in these policies that now are no longer abstract, but real to people. So for example, if I don't have access to healthcare, okay, the test is free, but the treatment is not. And if I'm not getting treatment and I get sicker, or I get a repeat or something like this, and I can't treat it, how many more people can I risk exposing? Does my access to adequate care and food and all of these resources, does it affect you? And I think we're finding out right now, yeah, it does. We are community. In a small village, city, country level, we do have to take care of each other, and these policies actually help us do that.
I gotta really push back on that song choice, though. Like, are you kidding me? Like, they say that if you take your girl or you take your guy to a Bon Jovi concert, right? That because of the Bon Jovi, right? That's not good for social distancing.
No, that's true. That's true. So, but getting to know your neighbors, even for small 2-minute periods, is, not a bad thing. Not depending on your neighbors, but generally not a bad thing. So,
okay, that gave me an idea. I'm gonna go stand outside and start singing and see if any of my neighbors. I might have to record that. I'll start. Oh, my husband's waving. There he is. It's my husband just going, hey.
Go out. Before you throw anything at me for singing, I would like it if you would wipe it down first.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Before you throw a tomato at me, because I see my cat actually does attack me when I sing. So, before you throw a tomato at me, could you please sanitize it so I don't get anything from you? That would be super. But yeah, that I'll go outside and start singing to see if any of my neighbors, which half my neighbors would be like, I think 1 or 2 of my neighbors might join in. The other ones would be like, oh, the crazy lady's at it again. They call
Well, you've always got to be the first one on the dance floor. It only takes one. So why don't you try it? Film it.
Exactly.
Right. Go out there and start singing and see if my neighbors join me. Because like I was visiting another neighbor and I was talking and another neighbor that I hadn't met walked up and she's like, oh, hey, I'm so-and-so. And I'm like, hi, I'm Zsazsa. I live down. And she goes, oh, you live at the corner house? I'm like, yeah. And she goes, oh, we call that the project house. And I'm like, does it look that shitty? Like, what the fuck? Does it look like I live in the, and I live in the burbs? And she goes, oh, no. I'm like, does it look like it's that shitty? I know I didn't mow my lawn this week, but seriously. And she's like, oh, no. It's because you guys are always doing stuff. Like, because we always have projects going on. I think I was painting dressers in the driveway that week or some shit like that. Some free dresser I got. I was painting it for my daughter. But apparently, she referred to it as the project house because we're always building or doing something in the summer and the spring and, chicken coops, gardens, rehabbing furniture, whatever. We're always doing something. And I'm like, oh, yeah. So my neighbors are always like, oh, it's the crazy chicken lady. Yeah, that would totally, yeah. Yeah, I have 5 chickens, so.
You also have about a dozen nicknames.
I do. I have many nicknames. Some of them are not polite. Some of them are straight up rude. But they're funny, but rude.
Well, wait till you start singing outside. There's another one.
Yeah, there's another one. I have all kinds of nicknames. Weird things.
Before you throw that tomato, please cut it up and put it in a sandwich because we're almost out of bread over here.
Actually, no, I can't eat bread, but I really would like it with some mozzarella cheese and some fresh basil and a little. Can you put it in a container?
Now she gets.
Now I'm getting bougie. I'll get bougie. Give me some caprese salad, please. That'll work. Some balsamic vinegar,
Wait,
tomato.
This is lettuce. Don't you have any radicchio?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't do the frisee. Could I just have some loose leaf lettuce? Triple washed organic, please? Like, oh my God.
That is the whitest phrase I have heard all week. Thank you. All you need is a Starbucks latte with you. And that would have been perfect.
Oh my God. Have you seen the lines at Starbucks? It's like I can't even get my latte.
Thank you, Becky. Thank you. Okay, so we are now just a few minutes before the hour. So we're going to wrap this up.
Where has the time gone?
I know, it's flown. So final positive thoughts. If you had advice to give to somebody just to get through today, best way to get through the day for you.
Okay. Best way to get through the day. Well, if it's legal or you could get your hands on it and you could do it, safely, smoke some fucking weed, dudes. It'll get you through lots of shit. Smoke some weed. Find something fun to do today. Something that's going to, even if it's the most ridiculous thing you could think of, go do that. Create something. I find, and I'm a creative person, but just making something or creating something so that I feel like I've done something that day. And don't forget to change out of your daytime jammies to your nighttime jammies sometime before 9 o'clock. That's me, and maybe, if you're not going to take a shower, do a horse bath, just wipe some shit down. I think that, just get a little fresh. Just a little fresh with yourself.
Self-care.
Yeah, a little self-care, even if it's minimal. Baby wipes, wipe that, wipes your junk down.
That's right. The day 2 shower. The day 2
right,
shower
exactly. So if you're not
Old
going to
Spice
shower,
deodorant and Axe body spray.
Right. If you're not going to shower, at least do a horse bath and a little deodorant and change your jammies by 9 o'clock. Don't sleep. There's a 24-hour moratorium on the jammies. That's the limit. You can sleep in them and then wear them until bedtime. But beyond that, you got to change.
And don't raise your hands because you're not sure.
Right. And when in doubt, just kind of like do a stretch and sniff, it'll be fine. No one will see it. You can actually, unless you're on camera like me, you can actually just, do a lift and sniff and no one will know.
Excellent. Right. Good advice. Very good advice. So,
you're welcome.
Yeah. So the only thing that I have is, I happen to be the very proud owner of a giant inflatable T-Rex costume. which in this era doubles as a hazmat suit. So I can freely wander about the streets of my little town.
You got to have people in tow. You have to have people behind you, because I've seen those. And if you go over, there's no getting up.
That is true. It is a little problematic. So a handler would be nice. So this is where, sense of community. Bring a friend with you. So absolutely.
So social distancing, though.
Yeah, with your distance.
Yes.
Right. So make sure you bring those long grabby things, so that if you do have to help her back up, you could just maintain your 6 feet different distance and like grab her and yank her back up. So just make sure you have the little grabby claw things.
Yeah, exactly. So Andy, anything last for you?
One idea that I've got going on, it's in the pre-design stages now. It's the COVID-19 stuffed toy. Okay. It's about this big. It's soft and furry. It's red in color, just because that's my favorite color, but it looks like the COVID virus, and you keep it near you. If somebody's pissing you off, you just take it and you throw it at them.
I like it.
If you get hit by the COVID-19 stuffed toy, you have to wheeze for 30 seconds.
Oh no.
Is that like a demented game of hot potato?
Basically, yes.
Okay, just making sure that I understand the rules. It's a demented game of hot potato. Got it. Is there a
Right,
song to go with it? Because a song would be super.
There will be.
Okay, you need a song because you got to sing it, and then when when you stop singing it and you throw it, then that person's got to wheeze and cough. Got it.
It won't be that scary ass cat that goes, wash your hands, do 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 do. Wash your hands, do 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 do.
That's
Nightmares.
That's Baby Shark.
Yeah, I know, but there was somebody made a meme on or a gif of a cat singing that song.
I have to find that now. We will find.
I'll send you the link.
Okay.
Okay. Can I make a formal request that you do not send that to me, Kerri? Because that fucking song will be stuck in my head, and I will come throw tomatoes at your windows or something.
I promise you, I will not send it to you.
Send it to my husband.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Because he loves that Baby Shark song.
It'll be great.
It'll be awesome.
So now we are at the top of the hour. So thank you everybody for spending some time with us today, even if it's just a little hour, to take a break from all the bullshit and nonsense and just decompress. Remember self-care today. And even if you're watching the news and the headlines, we're absolutely going to get through this. We definitely will. So let's try to remain positive, pragmatic, and think through logically. So I will have updates on our Facebook page about the details coming through of whatever the Senate just passed yesterday, so that you can make an informed decision. And Andy and I will be back Friday morning, bright and early, 9 a.m. Eastern. But thank you, Miss Zsazsa.
Thank you,
Miss Zsazsa.
Thank you so much. And I am streaming today at 11 a.m. Central Time at twitch.tv/Zsazsa Kilmor, all one word. So I don't know what I'm doing, what I'm playing yet. I wing it. So I'll be on doing my thing, being weird. There'll be some, we might even start the day drinking early today. Who the fuck knows? I haven't read the news yet, so we'll see what happens.
There's no rules. That's the thing about working at home. There's no rules.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a lot of fun. And I will post the link to Zsazsa's Twitch account so people can kind of join in and see if they want to subscribe and support you in your employment goals. So thank you so much.
All right,
I ran out of coffee 10 minutes ago.
Okay, yep. We're done now. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
This is Progressive Insider.
Yeah. Progressive Insider, you know they wiser. This that new media company covering everything. I'm talking that news you ain't heard of, cause you know it's getting buried. Social justice, yeah, the stuff you need to know about. Fucking